We are now drawing one each. I have won a match, I won the last one, Diplex won a match, he won the first one, and we're now playing for the win. It's a best of 3, and this is the last match. For the factions, we didn't actually pick, we didn't do the picks and the bans, we actually totally bypassed the faction pick process by agreeing to both play as Rome. And it was actually me that instigated that, but there wasn't any ulterior motive. I didn't think, it wasn't really a master plan. I kind of had a lot of fun so far playing against Diplex, and I just wanted a really good, clean last match with balanced armies. And I wanted to win cleanly. So I said to Diplex, want to both go Rome again for old time's sake? He responded in Skype, lol, if you want to, sure. I responded sure, and that was that. We announced to the organisers we were just going to both play as Rome, and we decided to go at it. He wasn't really bothered about which map we played on, so I kind of used that to my advantage, picked one that I wanted. Yeah, I don't really know what else I could have done, so I just picked Octoduron. And I had the high ground, I kind of thought that I would, and I got it. Although I didn't use the high ground, I took the fight to him. I attacked, as I have done in every battle in the tournament so far, just as I wanted. Yeah, I really wanted to be aggressive this whole tournament. I've already explained my reasoning, so I won't go over the same ground. I'm organising my army into a very similar formation to the first battle against Diplex and the last battle against Gamerduster, except this time I have slightly less cavalry and armoured legionnaires there. That'll free up my cavalry to be purely anti-cavalry, and it means that I can be more aggressive with my skirmishing because my skirmishers now have a shield of armoured legionnaires. So I've got 4 armoured legionnaires, 6 Balearic slingers, I have 6 units of Socii Equitae Extraordinarii, 2 units of Praetorian cavalry, and a general. And we hit ready. And Diplex has a defensive formation down there. Whatever he had, I would have attacked. I think I can deal with anything I come up against from a Roman player with what I've got right now. He's got a Scorpion, he's got Gladiator Spearmen. The Gladiator Spearmen I wanted to see. They are not so cost effective. They can easily be destroyed by any kind of Roman infantry, even though Roman infantry suck horribly. Roman infantry as in legionnaires, with their scutums and gladius, well, gladii, I don't know what the plural for gladius is. Gladiuses, gladii, whatever. So now I'm just going to surround him. I'm going to be very aggressive here. He's going to be very... I noticed straight away that he is somewhat defensive. He has an artillery piece. So I think he has a kind of false sense of formidability in defence. I think he feels like he has an artillery piece so he can snipe my units, but artillery is so bad, especially when my units are arranged in these big long lines like they are now. So I'm going to position my left wing in those trees, my right wing is going to go down there. By positioning my cavalry on either side of his ranks, I can deter his cavalry from advancing out and leaving his lines exposed. He has a lot of spearmen, a lot of infantry and a lot of cavalry, so he's got no skirmishers. I have a lot of skirmishers and I have a lot of cavalry, but I can actually protect my skirmishers now, so I feel more confident in attacking, so I'm going to be very aggressive here. I'm going to move up in range with my skirmishers, well in range, a bit at a time. He's arranging into a kind of square, I think it would be called, but there's no pikes there, so not really. It's kind of a defensive box. I don't know who was attacking in this one, I think it was me. I think I decided I was attacker because I picked the map, so I don't mind being the attacker, I relish it. Yeah, the Scorpion's firing at me. My units are under fire but taking no losses, or almost no losses. You can really tell now that he feels intimidated by my cavalry. I'm really putting pressure on him right now. He knows that if he moves his cavalry out to either flank, I'll be clear to charge in from the other one. What he really doesn't want to do though, if you step back from the battle, what we were thinking at the time, and look at it objectively, He really could not afford to skirmish. He had to act. I had massive skirmishing superiority here. He has no units, he has a Scorpion, which is very light. I've got 6 units of Balearics, which are high tier slingers. Slingers being the best skirmisher unit on this version of the game. Yeah, he's actually doing some damage. He's killed a few of my men. So I'm moving up now to fire its gladiators because the cavalry is what is going to be doing most of the killing, and if the gladiators are diminished, I'll be able to utilise them more effectively. I'll fire at the Scorpion to take that thing out. It's not really to nullify a threat, it's more to shift the balance of power quickly, because artillery pieces are easy to deman by killing the crew. So he's moving his cavalry up to threaten. That's the right idea. He really needs to follow through with it though. He should really try and punch through my centre and then protect his flanks from my cavalry with his spearmen, but he seems to be deterred. That is skirmishing cavalry actually, that's Numidians. I don't think I realised that at the time. I realise it now, that's why I charge. I'm skirmishing them to death though, they're going to get raped. They're getting completely destroyed, they just get absolutely annihilated with that volley from the slings. And they are going to rout, I think. There's another unit of auxiliary Numidians there trying to deal damage to my legionaries, and they are going to pull out as well. That is a good decision. He really should have supported that with cavalry. If he skirmished and set cavalry in, he could have got one of them in for free. A unit of gladiator spearmen is routing, I think, or is about to rout. I'm doing a lot of damage with my slingers. I'm just shifting my legionnaires around. He's moving his cavalry out to his left. I'm going to move my cavalry down on the other side because it seems to have opened up slightly. And I'm thinking I could really do a lot of damage on my left side, on his right flank. So my slingers are still firing, slowly shifting the battle in my favour as long as they do that. His cavalry is just sitting there trying to deter on my right. Meanwhile, I have a unit of Praetorian cavalry going down there. He sends a unit of auxiliary Numidians, I think. So I don't want to get engaged in a cavalry fight down there. I know what happened in the first battle with the gladiator spearmen, and I want to avoid that at all costs. I can afford to do that because he can't rush me, I don't think he can. He doesn't have enough to break through my line, and I have a lot of armoured legionnaires. I'm probably on par with him in terms of melee infantry, dedicated anti-infantry infantry. So I see him making a move now, and I decide to pull back. I can sort of get the high ground here and also some space for my cavalry to charge if I pull back. So I'm going to let him pursue me, spread his army out. I can move my cavalry up to wherever they need to be, whereas his gladiators have to run. So I'm firing with my slingers on the left at the gladiators while I pull back on the right. He seems to be moving out now. I'm just adjusting my formation to deal with that slowly. Yet the gladiators down there are getting absolutely annihilated. I'm charging that unit of Numidians. A free unit pretty much. The slingers are doing massive damage. This is really bad for him. His shape doesn't look good right now. He cannot punch through down there. Alright, I'm going to move the rest of my cavalry up there to threaten. Hopefully pull his cavalry back down there to deal with it. Otherwise I'm going to punish him for it. So my slingers are not skirmishing properly. I think they had skirmish engaged and they didn't skirmish. That was kind of disappointing. He's pursuing my slingers. They threw their pila. Alright, I'm taking out the Numidians in the base. That is pretty much what it was his base. So I'm now catching all of his units and tying them down, destroying them. I'm pulling out the fight with the Numidians. I think they've been routed because those spearmen are coming after me. My slingers are going to continue to retreat fire. I'm going to use my armoured legionnaires only when necessary. I've sent them in. There we go. Gladiator spearmen pull out. Societate Extraordinaria joining in. I engaged Draco. I'm going to try and crush something somewhere. Now I have a massive amount of space to work with here. I can easily charge anywhere I want. His army is spread out, and I can go anywhere I want, do whatever charge is best. So I've pretty much lost that unit of Praetorians in his base. That doesn't bother me. That'll tie down the gladiators and that unit of Societate Extraordinaria while I wreak havoc over here with all these units. My Praetorians are doing pretty well against the gladiators. That's what they were for, mainly to catch the gladiators. Now I can send my cavalry to charge down whatever targets I can see. I use Raised Banner to increase defense and morale. My slingers are still firing, doing a lot of damage. Oh, he charges my slingers with his general. Although I send a unit of Societate Extraordinaria down there to charge the general back for that. And I'm pretty sure his general dies. So I've won everywhere. I'm quite surprised by how easy this has been so far. He's got a massive blob down there though, and he has units coming to support. His army's basically in two partitions right now, the ones that are not involved and the ones that are involved. The ones that are involved are getting surrounded and destroyed, the ones that aren't involved are going to be too late to make a difference. It's pretty much a concluded battle here. All my cavalry are intact apart from that one unit of Praetorian cavalry. Most of my armoured legionnaires are intact. My slingers, even though they get charged by the general, are still fine. And we have a pretty decisive victory that will send me through to the semi-final against Pointman. So I won 2-1. Ouch, damn. Yeah. I think Diplex was kind of overwhelmed there. Like, in the first battle, he snatched a victory. He knew that I like to go cavalry heavy. In the second battle, I won using mostly infantry, so that threw him way off balance. In the last battle, he didn't really know what I was going to bring. He brought a mostly balanced army that had a few gimmick units like Numidians and Scorpions, and I kind of out-microed him, I think, and had a better army composition. And I think that concludes what would prove to be the most entertaining matchup of the series. Good game to DiplexHeated. It was a lot of fun. These battles are definitely what I remember this tournament by. It was a lot of fun, and from now on it starts to get really serious and sort of, I don't know, brooding, the tournament, because money is being played for. I'm now going to hand over to Prince of Aston and Dignitas Dogbert for the commentary of the battle. Thanks for watching, and see you in the semi-final.
Looks like they are both ready.
And here we go. We have Rome versus Rome. The civil war continues, and it will be the deciding battle in this series.
Indeed. Are you surprised Volound didn't switch with the Ptolemies? I mean, he didn't stick with them.
I think they're both very confident in their Rome play, and I think that's why they're going for it. I think they're both more comfortable with the Rome, and I think the army he went in that last battle was really just to throw Diplex off a bit. So
I'd agree with that.
I think that wasn't a standard composition he usually uses, and it worked very well.
It did seem to work there.
The elephants had the impact, but they just didn't have follow-up afterwards.
Indeed. I gotta say that attack by Diplex at the beginning of that last battle was beautiful to watch. I wish it would have succeeded.
I think it was the wooded terrain really was the downfall of his army. He was so cavalry heavy, and because his Triarii got fighting in the woods as well, it kind of forced that battle to continue in the wood, and he couldn't disengage at all without taking huge casualties.
Indeed, it's always a risk to disengage.
Very much so in Rome 2.
All right, so the viewers can see this army by Volound?
Yes, they should be able to see everything on the screen right now.
All right. So it looks like a nearly full stack by Volound. I think he has 18 units here, I believe. I'm not really counting too well. He's got a lot of armored legionnaires in the front, or like 4 of them spread out. with Balearic Slingers behind him. He has, let's see. Ooh, the return of the Balearic Slingers. He has 6 of them. So I guess he fancies his chance to skirmish again. And Sakurai Equite Extraordinarii, he has, I want to say, 4, 5, 6. He has 6 Sakurai Extraordinarii, one Praetorian Cav, and another Sakurai Equite unit. So tons of Cav. And then he's got his Legatus unit. So once again, heavy on the skirmishers and heavy on the Cav. Battle started.
This is what I like about these two players, yeah? As soon as the game starts, no messing about, move out to engage the enemy straight away.
Oh, indeed. That is the Roman way.
And let's have a look over at Diplex's army, and we have the return of the gladiators.
The
Lots
gladiators.
Oh my god! Look what's at the front of that army.
Oh my gosh! Yes!
First time in the
Scorpions.
tournament, we have scorpions. As they're
Yeah,
slowly
they're the only
wheeled.
allowed. Yeah, they're the only allowed artillery, right?
I believe so. Mecca? He's muted himself. I
Yeah,
believe
they
so.
are. They are the only allowed artillery in the game. You can only use scorpions.
You know what, I'm really liking this army from Duplex. I mean, this is the kind of stuff I like. I like heavy infantry armies. No nonsense. Gonna get in there and fight.
Indeed.
And this is why I was a big fan of your pike armies. I just knew that you were gonna get in there. You're just gonna fight into that army.
Yeah, I got in there alright, then I got out.
And here we have some auxiliary Numidians. Yay! I love seeing Numidians. I don't think they're that good in this game.
Yeah, you're right. They don't really see much action.
I haven't seen them get picked very often, and I don't know if they can throw while being chased either, which is it's kind of suck, but we'll see. I'm a big fan of them. I played Mecca, my friend here, in original Rome, and I used to cause them absolute massive headaches with Numidian cavalry.
Oh, they were beautiful in Rome 1. I mean, you could just skirmish the heck out of your opponent. Them and the militia cav, very excellent skirmish units.
Yes.
So, what do you think of Diplex's army? He's going into formation here.
New box. No, he's obviously got his Scorpion, but I don't think this is... I don't see how this is going to play in his favour when his opponent has so many Balearic Slingers.
Indeed. Yeah. Maybe he might rush at his opponent when the slingers get closer, perhaps. I don't know.
As you can see in the... what is this mode called again? Tactical map. I always think it like global map. You can see him slowly being surrounded on either side. But obviously, Duplex knows exactly how this battle is going to play out. Is he's going to try and get in there, cause damage of his cavalry, and get out and just harass him.
Well, it looks like Diplex is inviting him to surround him.
Oh,
He's
definitely.
saying, "Bring it on." Yeah.
Come get some.
Get some. But I'm really loving Diplex's army here. I mean, all of his armies so far have been pretty imaginative.
There hadn't been a boring army setup in this series. I'll give him that.
Indeed. Oh, he's changing his formation now.
So, put yourself in Duplex's shoes. How would you go with this kind of matchup?
With this kind of matchup, I mean, since I brought the Scorpions, I'll try to get as many shots as possible, and then when the slingers start to take their toll, then I'll try to rush the slingers again, as he did in the first battle. What about you? What would you do?
He's got the Spearman. He can protect his rear. I kind of feel he has to engage on one of these wings. Obviously, he's got the Scorpion, but he's got a far more... he needs to get an engage somewhere. He needs to have the fight on his terms. And he's going in here with some cavalry, the Numidians, but I don't see how they're going to do that much. But it's wasting ammo, and it's giving him time to make a decision on where he's going to go. Is he going to go on his left or right? Because I think what will happen is he's going to focus all his infantry and cavalry, and then he's going to have his gladiator spearmen coming up his rear. But
He just lost a bunch of...
yeah, the Numidians just dropped.
Yeah. Yeah, I think in this
Back to
capacity, I
Numidia.
don't think the Numidians are too well. I'm sorry?
It looks like they're running back to Numidia. Gonna do that.
Indeed. Based on the looks of it, it's a far walk from Numidia.
It looks like that Vo is going to be able to basically harass him until Duplex makes a decision on where he's going to go in. It's going to be an all-in
Indeed.
at some point.
Indeed. Yeah, Volound has the option here of just standing back and destroying them from afar. So I think Diplex is kind of forced to attack.
Especially the units which are being targeted by the Blurk Slingers are the ones he needs to keep alive the longest, which is the Gladiator Spearmen. If they start getting picked off quick like this, that cavalry army that Volt has is going to just take them out.
Indeed.
And this is a 1-1 series right now. Both players, Duplex winning the first game in a very, very close fashion, and Volt coming back in the next one with just heavy infantry spam that carried the day. And just, sorry, go on.
I'll say it's pretty much all or nothing here.
And one unit of Gladiator Spearmen has already started to rout from the heavy fire they're taking from the Blurk Slingers.
Indeed. He definitely can't stay like this. He needs to get out of this formation.
Blurk Slingers, were they used very often by the Rome's legions?
I believe Caesar had him in his army, along with Germanic and Gallic have, and I believe some Cretan archers as well. Yeah, the Balearics and the Cretans, they were kind of like the go-to mercenaries for skirmishing in the ancient world.
It's a classic story on how you paid Balearic mercenaries. You never had to pay them in money or gold, you just had to pay them in women.
That is quite the payment there.
And this battle is just all over the place. It's a very spread out battle. I have to go to the tactical map to show you why. Because of the archers and their ability to pull back whenever they need to, and the cavalry can move back as much as they want, the only person that can choose when this fight is going to happen is Volt. He doesn't have to engage at all. He can just sit back and pick them off for a long time. It's Diplex that has to push the issue, and he's doing it right now, moving in his heavy legionnaires. It looks like he's decided on his right. I think that is where he's going to try and make the issue. But his cavalry is outnumbered.
Yeah, he's also trying to push into these archers again, or these slingers, sorry, with his legionnaires. I think it's too late.
Here's one of the first cavalry engages, and it's going to go to Volt. Ah, but they were only Numidian cavalry, so I'll let them off.
Mm-hmm. Oh, Diplex is smacked into his to an armored legionnaire unit with his Saki eyes. So he's starting to get stuck in here. But Voland's trying to prolong the infantry battle because he only has a few melee units. So it wouldn't be beneficial for him to get engaged yet.
I'm trying to zoom out as much as possible to make sure I don't miss any critical moment here. But the battle is so all over the battlefield, it's very difficult to keep a hold of it.
It is everywhere, and these banners look the same to me.
Oh, very much so. Next patch, Grave Assembly. I need to be able to work out the difference between the two Roman factions.
Yes. I want custom colors. Custom.
Yeah, bring me back my purple. You can see over here the spearman units engaged against... Oh, in fact, Diplex is breaking here. We've got hammer and anvil from the extraordinaries and the heavy infantry. So
oh, I see it. I see it. And Voland slingers are starting to take their toll on the Diplexes right now.
The heavy skirmisher army just seems to be the one to do, and it looks like Volt's decided possibly to go for a snipe on Duplex's general here. His cavalry now has free reign of his rear, and that is not looking good.
It's not good.
And you can see his general here is going for a snipe on a lot of these Blurk slingers.
Mm-hmm.
But he's going to pay with his life for going after these Blurk slingers as cavalry and heavy infantry are coming in.
Indeed. What do we got here? I think Voland has too much freedom of the battlefield. I don't think Diplex can turn this back.
Can he get his general out of this fight here?
Hmm. He got his general back there, but they're surrounded now.
They're getting hit by... he's about to go down now. He's just getting hit by so many Blurk slingers.
Indeed.
And it seems to be the Roman fate to have their generals killed by slingers.
Going down with their army. I like crosses. Yeah, I think this battle's pretty much over. That was a very ballsy move by Volound to go back with the slingers when they didn't serve him well in the first battle. But I guess he had faith in it.
And there's the GG. Duplex going down after commanding win in the first game. Very close game in the second, and just an outright slaughter in the third.
Mm-hmm.
Roman
I was
blood.
really impressed. I mean, I love DiplexHeated's armies. I like the way he plays. It's very imaginative.
Round of applause
yeah,
to
good
the players
game.
there. That was really good. Best series so far. Going right
Loved
down
it.
to the right down to the wire.
Yeah, very good decision making by Volound there. Like I really expected him to stick with Egypt, but then he went back with the Romans and went back with the slingers. So he really had a game plan, and he stuck it out and succeeded.